Today we are here at the home of Nate Priest, who is the owner of Yucca Pointe Landscape Company. And Nate, I know you guys focus on hardy succulents and cacti, but we have Oklahoma winters sometimes, and we never know when those negative temperatures are going to come and hit us like they did a few years ago.
That's right.
So can you give us a little bit of any tricks if we want to preserve and protect some of our hardy succulents?
Absolutely. So my property here is not only kind of a little playground for my hobby that's gotten out of control, but it's also a kind of an experimental research station for testing plant cold hardiness. And most of the plants I try to grow ideally won't require any protection at all under a normal winter. But as you alluded to, we had that terrible winter in the February of 2021. We got down to officially -17. I think I recorded -15 here in the yard. So we did cover quite a bit of stuff before that, because although we're like a zone 7A hardiness, we do get those zone 4 or 5 winters occasionally, very occasionally. And some layers of frost cloth over plants can help them a lot. And it really depends on the species of plant and what its hardiness is. If you know the plant can take -20, you may not want to bother to protect it at all. But if you know that plant's only hardy to 10 or 0, you're going to want to protect it below those temperatures. Here we've got a little agave below me that's probably hardy to around 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And because it's a young plant, I may want to protect it a little bit on the coldest nights of the winter for its, at least for its first winter or two. And it might be as simple as coming out and just putting a towel over it before the cold hits, and maybe placing a few stones on the towel to hold it in place, you know, for the wind. And just that will make a huge difference in the protection of a plant. And if it's a larger area, you can use frost cloth that comes in big rolls and spread it out and then weight it down. You have to have some people to help you. And luckily my employees provide a lot of help for me in this landscape.
And now this is a saguaro, right?
It is. Yeah, this is a real saguaro.
Is this hardy here in Oklahoma?
No, it's not, but it's miraculously, they're doing very, very well. I've got 19 of these, and they've been some of the toughest plants as far as disease-resistant. Cactus bugs won't try to eat them or anything. They've done extremely well, which is kind of shocking considering how much more rainfall we get than their natural environment. But they've got really great drainage, and they're all planted in the cactus blend soil, and so they've got the best conditions possible, and lots of rock around them for some extra heat and stuff like that. But
so how long have they been out here?
The one I've had the longest has gone through 3 winters, and most of these have gone through 2 winters. So
how do you protect those in the wintertime?
So it involves Christmas lights, just simple mini LED Christmas lights, and you can wrap the plant with these from bottom to top. And then
so even LED lights, they are giving off heat here? Is that what?
They're giving off just a little bit of heat. And amazingly, if you trap that heat with a cover, then it provides quite a bit of relief, about a 15 or so degree temperature gain over the ambient air temperature outside.
Really? So just keeping them from being frozen. Awesome. So how do we go about doing this?
All right, if I can get untangled here.
That's always the problem with Christmas.
That's always the problem, So I just start at the base, and I try to wrap these. Got to be really careful with the spines, of course. I try to wrap them a little extra heavy at the base, do a few wraps, just because cold air that gets underneath the cover from wind and such could be worse at the ground level. And so I try to go extra heavy with the wraps down below, and that any extra heat will just rise up along the skin of the plant and provide more freeze protection. So once I've done a few wraps near the base, I'll start to spiral up. Just go round and round. The bigger the plant, the more Christmas lights, but it takes surprisingly not that many. There's just 2 strands, and I've had success protecting the big saguaro that's probably over 3 feet tall with just 2 strands of Christmas lights. And through my experimentation, I tried different things, and I thought for a while that I would need like heavy-duty, higher wattage incandescent bulbs, and all I accomplished with that was too much heat, and the bulbs actually burnt holes in the skin of the cacti. So I backed down to the regular Christmas lights, and it worked just fine. So once I've got it completely wrapped, and with these little lights, it's not going to hurt to have some extra. You can just keep going round and round until you've used them all. I put thermometers on these too that are Bluetooth to my phone, so I can track the temperatures and make sure they're good. All right, so once I've finished wrapping the saguaro with the Christmas lights all the way to the top, we'll go ahead and cover it. If you can hand me that cover back there, Casey.
Yep. Looks like a tomato cage here.
It does.
Or a ghost, one or the other.
Yeah. So I first started out using an upside down tomato cage and bending the legs in to give it a solid top and putting an upside down clear salad bowl on top of it.
Oh yeah.
And that worked really well, but it was kind of a difficult setup, and these saguaros are too big for that.
Okay.
So I couldn't find any big enough tomato cages. So I found an even better system, which is this green woven wire that's available at most farm and home stores. Comes in a roll, I think it's 4 or 5 feet tall.
Okay.
And you can actually, when you unroll it, it's already got this handy cylinder shape, and then you can make it whatever diameter you want, cut it with 10 snips, and in like 10 minutes, you can build a cage that's custom sized for your plant. And then I wrap it with frost cloth, and then I've got adhesive Velcro on here to secure it, which works okay, but you might have better luck with staples or wire if the adhesive on the Velcro is not strong enough, or I'm not sure how long that's really going to last. But then you can you can cut the top into kind of quarters and then fold it in like a Christmas present to make its own top. And then the same thing with the frost cloth. And it's kind of nice when this is folded in too. You've got a little extra insulation on the top to help hold the heat in.
And this is just a spun woven thing, and yeah,
exactly.
You can buy that at garden centers and stuff like that.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can slide it over your plant and take it all the way to the ground, and I'll even scratch the gravel down an inch or two around it, especially any high spots, to get it right down in the gravel. And then I'll take tent stakes and drive them in with them over, with them hooking that wire, and then I'll take some rocks like bowling ball size and kind of stage around it, putting pressure on it to help keep it from blowing over during high winds.
Okay.
And that system, amazingly, I keep thermometers on these to track where the plants are at. I don't watch them all the time, but when I first set it up, I'll check it, and I might just do it on like 20% of the plants, knowing that the others have the same setup. But it'll keep this, on average, about 18 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the outside air temperature.
Really?
Depending on wind and other factors, but that's about the average. So if it's 20 degrees outside, this will be like 38 degrees inside the cover.
So it's going to keep it safe, hopefully, through those really bitter cold winters that we have.
Hopefully.
Do you just put this on for, I'm watching the forecast and I see a storm coming and I go do this, or would this be something that we could potentially do on our tender ones that we know are tender and leave it through most of the winter?
That's a great question. I have left it on with no problems on these saguaros. I'm thinking about not doing that now, or maybe just leaving the cages on and covering them when I need to, just because it's only every once in a while, since they can take down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Or maybe doing it sporadically if it's necessary for a fall cold front, but leaving it on from the beginning of December through mid to late February, leaving them on full time. That's really up to the individual person.
Well, Nate, it sounds like we need to go ahead and get our Christmas decorations out to help protect some of our tender plants. Thanks for sharing this little tip with us.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.